Really, Fox? Really, Fox? Really, Fox? Really, Fox? Part 2? God damn it! I'm sorry. I think I've already snapped, and this review has not even begun. No, scratch that! It doesn't deserve the title of review. This is just straight up a rant. My pure, raw hatred that this film even exists. And honestly, I don't know why I'm putting this much effort, why I'm even ranting about it. I mean, we all knew it was going to be bad. I mean, seriously, it's the 5th installment of a franchise that nobody asked for. Nobody! And here we are. 13 years later, the franchise is still going with its 5th film, and it's still going. They might even make a 6th for all we know, considering even though that these films are not critical or even financial successes, they still keep making them. Where are my manners? Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy, and I'm here today to review Ice Age Collision Course. Let's go. So Ice Age Collision Course is, do you honestly care? Do any of you actually give a fuck what the premise of this film is? I bet half of you have already fast forward past the whole premise because you don't want to hear the premise, you just want to hear me rant about the fucker. But just in case for those who actually do care, the premise of the entire film is we follow the gang from all the previous films. They're having a fun time. And all of a sudden, like, these meteors are falling from the sky, and they're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden, they bump into Buck, and Buck says, oh, I found this pillar that had a prophecy predicting that a meteor was going to crash here again. It's the 3rd one, and we gotta go to this one spot, figure out why it keeps being attracted to the spot, and then figure out how to get it, like, move the meteor, or take the meteor from crashing into Earth, and they embark on their adventure. That's the movie, yep. There you go. Now, many people may not be willing to admit this, but I will. I was once a fan of the Ice Age franchise. I really liked the first 2 films. The first film was a solid film with a coherent story, fun, likable, and interesting characters who embarked on a journey to help this human child get back to his family. It was fraught with peril. There were some intense moments, some emotional and touching moments, a lot of hilarious moments, good chemistry among the characters, solid animation, good score. It was just a well put together film and helped Blue Sky Studio make its mark in the animation industry. And then you have the second film, which in my personal opinion is the best Ice Age film ever made so far. Like, it had some of the most hilarious and memorable moments, best character moments, some really nice bonds between the characters, the animation was solid, there were a lot of tense moments, a lot of fun musical numbers. In fact, that movie actually has one of my favorite scenes in any animation film, and I truly mean that. There's a scene where Sid gets kind of spirited away or lifted away by a cult of little sloths, and they worship him as a god. They call him Fire God or something like that. It was like that. And they basically praise him, and then all of a sudden he starts making like these sounds, and they start mimicking him, and they burst into this musical number that's so infectiously catchy that I have never forgotten about it to this very day. And the score in Ice Age The Meltdown is probably the best score in the entire franchise. Like, John Powell, he killed it. Like, when there's a score that happens at the end of the film called The Return of the Mammoths, and it's just so grand and epic, something that you would hear whenever you would see like something massive and huge like a mammoth. Again, I feel like that film is a very significant point in this franchise. Like, that was literally its high point, and then it just kind of dwindled from there. The fourth film didn't do that well financially and critically, so okay, they're gonna probably end the franchise now, because there's no coming back from Continental Drift, right? Right? Oh no. Is that a scratch short film at the beginning of the Peanuts movie? No, it can't be. No, it can't be. No! You know, with almost absolute certainty, that there is another Ice Age film in the works when you see a goddamn scratch short film playing at the beginning of any Blue Sky Studio film. When I saw that at the beginning of the Peanuts film, I literally sank into my chair. I was so heartbroken and devastated. I'm like, not another one. Please, just let the franchise die. Let the franchise die already, please. End it already. You're just gonna make it worse. You're gonna ruin the legacy of this franchise. Just stop it. And for Blue Sky Studio, who just took 3 steps forward with the solid Peanuts movie, like that movie was really good, and I had hope for their future to take 5,000 steps back to rock bottom. No, not even rock bottom. They broke through the crust. They broke through the mantle. They're literally in the inner core. They're right there. No, they're in the outer core. Sorry, they're not that deep yet. They're in the outer core, but they're so close to getting to that inner core, like inches from getting into that inner core. That's how low they have sunk by doing another goddamn Ice Age film that nobody asked for. Nobody! What the fuck, dude? What? Why? It just seems so idiotic. You were doing so well. Alright, I wasted enough time with the build-up. What did I actually think of the 5th installment to the Ice Age franchise? Well, I can say in all honesty, guys, that the film was exactly what I thought it was going to be. No surprises whatsoever. The film is, without question, a huge, steaming pile of mammoth shit. It is atrocious. And it breaks my heart that Blue Sky Studio and 20th Century Fox continue to rape this franchise and make it sink to new lows, as this film offers nothing. You gain nothing from watching it. No new experience, no sense of joy, no sense of sadness, nothing. It's a blank film. It's complete fluff. The story is boring, dull, forgettable, lacking any sort of tension or weight, which is so ironic because the entire story revolves around this apocalyptic event of a meteor about to fuck Earth in the ass, and like there's nothing. You don't feel the weight of the situation because the characters are just going on their merry way to get to a certain location, and it feels like there's no real like tension in these scenes, no real sense of urgency. Like, we need to get to this place. Even though characters will say, oh, we're running out of time, it doesn't really feel like that. You don't feel the sense of urgency whatsoever. And I didn't care about any of the other side stories. They were all so cliche. Like the whole cliche of the husband forgetting about the anniversary, oh, like we never seen that before, or the complete and boring subplot of their child meeting some boy or girl, falling in love and leaving the nest, and they don't like the fact that their kid is moving on and getting their own life, and then you have the dad who doesn't get along with the boyfriend. Oh my god, really? Really, are we doing the whole meet the parents thing in an Ice Age film? What? I mean, I know that we shouldn't expect something fresh From the Ice Age films, I mean, after all, it's the 5th film in the franchise, but I mean, come on. Come on. How lazy are you guys? And then there's also this other side plot dealing with Sid and his love life, and he's a complete failure. And funny enough, I was surprised at how much they sidelined Sid in this film. He didn't really have many scenes. Most of the scenes you see him in are either for comedic effect or to touch upon his stupid subplot. And he meets this one girl with red hair, you see her in the trailer, and their romance happens instantly. Like, just no real buildup. She sees him and then they fall in love and they're like, oh, where you been all my life? I'm like, wow. Way to try to build a dynamic chemistry between them, actually form a real bond between them so we can actually feel something here. Instead, no, they're just like, nah, let's rush right through it. Let's just make them end up together. And then they throw a twist on us. Spoiler alert, I really don't care to spoil this film. But we discover that the meteor that they all live in is actually keeping them all young. They're actually pretty old. And once the meteor gets destroyed, they turn back into their old selves. And that really lovely redheaded, freaking sloth turns into an old woman. Now, I almost gave the film credit for one thing, but then, literally, a few seconds after, I was like, oh wow, that was really surprising. They said, fuck you, and decided to cop out anyway. So, after Sid discovers that the love of his life is an old woman, the woman says, you know, you need to go live your own life. You know, I'm already old. I'm going to stay here with all the other old people. Go live your life, Sid. Be happy with someone else. I'll love you forever, though. And they go on their merry way, and I'm like, wow, that's surprising. I thought they were going to cop out and make him just end up with... Oh, God. I jinxed myself. I spoke too soon because right then, the rock from the meteor comes flying down like a little piece of the rock, lands right into like this hot tub, turns it into a fountain of youth, and turns everybody who was in it young again. And guess who turned young? Sid's love interest. So now he gets to be with her. Fuck you, movie. Are you serious? You had, like, literally, that was the one thing I was about to give you credit for, and you reneged on it. You completely reneged. And since we're already on it, let's talk about the characters. They were either really annoying or completely pointless and forgettable. The one that hurt the most, the character that they ruined for me the most, was Buck. I was actually really excited when I heard that Buck was coming back, as he was my favorite character in the 3rd film. He actually made that film really enjoyable. They brought him back in this film, and they turned him into a carbon copy of what that character was in the 3rd film. In the 3rd film, he actually had a personality. He was an actual character. He could be taken seriously in some scenes. He was wacky and eccentric, yes, but he was still interesting. In this film, they just took all the wacky and eccentric parts of his personality and added nothing else. Just make him seem crazy. Make him seem ridiculous, out of the woods kind of shit. Just make him do whatever. Just balls to the walls insanity. And I was like, you completely missed the point of this character. Completely, like, over your head. Jennifer Lopez's Saber-toothed character, what purpose did she serve in the entire film? Nothing. She served no purpose to the story. If you wrote her out of the film, it wouldn't change the story whatsoever. And their little subplot, like her and Diego's subplot about them trying to have children and, like, being parents, I'm like, why? We don't need it. It's boring. Get that the fuck out of here. Focus on the journey aspect. Crash and Eddie were as annoying as ever. I remember at one point I used to like Crash and Eddie as a kid. I enjoyed them in the 2nd film. They were funny. They were entertaining. The 3rd film, they actually were restrained. They didn't have many scenes in the 3rd film. In the 4th, I don't even remember anything from the 4th film. But in this one, it's just like, Crash and Eddie, we're reporting for duty. Duty. And they would make them say like freaking pulp culture references almost every single second. The most atrocious one, the one that made me cringe, I hated it so much, is they made them do the hashtag thing. Like they're trying to pander to the new generation, the generation now. And it's like, hashtag this, hashtag that. I'm like, really? Why would a bunch of possums want to say hashtag? No reason, no, just a way to reach the millennials, because they hashtag everything. They'll love it when they hear hashtag. No, they won't. They'll feel insulted because they feel like you're belittling them, that you would have to pander to such cheap, sophomoric humor. And that leads to my next and probably my biggest issue, the humor. Not a single moment in this film made me laugh. Not one. I sat there in complete silence, just observing the film, trying to find something to laugh at. I think I snickered maybe twice in the film. Just like a little snicker like... But that's it. Nothing in this film was funny. Nothing made me laugh. I mean, the least you could have done was make the film somewhat funny. No funny moments whatsoever. Nothing to really make you laugh. And there were other people in the film with me. I never heard one person in the theater laugh. And there were kids in the theater too. None of them laughed. So guess what? You failed at reaching your target demographic. You couldn't even appeal to them. Fail! Fail! What else is there to say about the film? Like, the voice acting, it's not god-awful, but you can tell everybody was phoning it in. Nobody really cared, besides maybe Simon Pegg. Everyone was just like, oh, okay, I'll read my lines. I've been doing it for 13 years. Whatever. I'll just read my lines, no worry. The animation, again, not that bad. The score is adequate. This doesn't just stand out. Overall, guys, I don't even know why I wasted so much time talking about this film. Like, this video is almost 20 minutes long. I wasted all of your time just talking about this shit film that you already knew was a shit film. At the end of the day, I guess the reason why I get so angry, especially when it comes to the Ice Age franchise, is because, once again, it had potential to be good. It really did. And a good franchise understands when it's time to call quits. I know that this is the only franchise Blue Sky Studio has, so I understand why they keep making Ice Age films. It's their last piece of relevancy, because once they stop making the Ice Age films, what else do they have? Rio failed to start up. They have no other franchise. The Peanuts movie was serviceable, but it's not really bankable. Epic failed epically. So this is the last thing that they have. It's their staple, their little flagship in the sea of animation. And once that sinks, they have nothing left. Not only that, but also the actors attached to it. This is the only thing that's keeping them relevant, besides, believe it or not, John Leguizamo, the only person in the cast that actually does other things in movies, which I find so weird. Like, Ray Romano is not doing anything, Queen Latifah's not doing anything, Dennis Leary's not doing anything, Keke Palmer is not doing anything, none of them are doing anything. Josh Peck is thankful to just be in this franchise. Like, he's probably thinking to himself, God, I could have went the way of Drake Bell, but no, I still got a franchise. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you. You know, it could have... That's the only reason I could see them keeping this franchise alive. But what they're doing is a double-edged sword. While it is keeping them afloat in the animation field, it's also tarnishing their name, devaluing their name and the name of their franchise. Because we all now expect it to be shit. No one goes into an Ice Age film expecting it to be good. And it's just heartbreaking, because we should never go into a film expecting it to be bad. We should at least go in with some glimmer of hope that the film could turn out to be great. But there is none. None whatsoever. The trailers showed it clearly that they put no effort. They could give two shits. And so why should the audience give two shits to go see it? I rather fade into obscurity than to drag my name into the dirt even more and tarnish it even more. And that is why I'm going to give Ice Age Collision Course a 0 out of 5 stars, guys. It's complete mammoth shit. And you all already knew that. I wasted your time just talking about it. Now, usually, this is the point in the video where I ask you guys to tell me what you thought of Ice Age Collision Course, whether you liked it or you hated it. But you know what? Not even going to waste my time asking you guys, because I know for a fact that none of you saw it, none of you give a shit about it, and none of you could possibly like it. So instead, I'm going to ask you guys, what is your favorite film in the Ice Age franchise? As I said before, my personal favorite is the second one. I thought it was great, but I would love to know which one is your favorite. Comment below, let me know. I probably might see Lights Out, considering if I have time or not. I'm working on my top 10 list. I'm working on some anime reviews. I have my live chat coming out next Sunday, and so much shit to do. I just don't want to talk anymore. I wasted enough energy ranting about the fuck. I feel so bad for anyone who watches this review. It's just gonna be a jumbled mess with me just repeating myself constantly. But I don't care. I mean, if this film couldn't put the effort to tell an interesting story with some likable characters and decent voice acting, why should I put the effort in making a decent video for it? So that's my justification for that. Till then, guys, if you would like to see more videos on this channel and be a part of the Black Critic crew, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. I'm Tony Watt II, the Black Critic Guy. Till then, peace, YouTube.
Oh,